Right now at 6:30, Democrats on the Senate Judiciary Committee are calling on the Supreme Court Chief Justice to open up an investigation into Justice Clarence Thomas's acceptance of luxury trips. Joining us now to talk about this and a few more topics is Senator Richard Blumenthal, who is, by the way, just discharged from the hospital. We'll get to that in just a minute. But first, Senator, you've called this situation regarding Justice Thomas unethical. In a letter that you signed along with your Democratic colleagues, it says that Justice Thomas's behavior was, quote, plainly inconsistent with the ethical standards the American people expect of any person in a position of public trust. So here's the question. The justice has come out saying that there's really no issue here, no need to report any of these trips that he took. Was he playing by the rules in place, and you believe those rules need to be changed, or was there a violation of the rules currently in place?
He blatantly failed to play by the existing rules because he failed to disclose these trips, gigantically expensive private jet trips on yachts and cruises and private retreats worth, in fact, millions and millions of dollars. The failure to disclose is itself a violation of law. The Ethics in Government Act was passed decades ago after Watergate. But he also created an appearance of real impropriety and conflict of interest by accepting those gifts in the first place. The man who gave them to him, a billionaire named Harlan Crow, potentially had interest before the court. He gave them year after year. These trips lasted decades. And so, in my view, there's a violation of basic ethical standards. But we're asking not only for Chief Justice Roberts to investigate, but also that the Supreme Court adopt a code of ethics. It's the only, literally the only branch or body in government, the only office that has no code of ethics. They think they're above it. And I've demanded for years that a code of ethics be adopted. I think we'll move legislatively toward one, and we will have a hearing in the Judiciary Committee about the ethical standards that this justice, at any rate, has failed to abide by.
So that brings me to my next question. What comes next are the Judiciary Committee reportedly warning of legislation if the court doesn't resolve this on its own. We read that in your letter. What would that legislation look like?
It would impose the same kind of code of ethics that applies to every other single judge, federal judge in the United States of America. The federal trial court, the courts of appeals, they have ethical standards that very simply should be applied to the Supreme Court. But you know, if Chief Justice Roberts fails to lead the court toward ethical standards, he will forever leave a stain on the court's legitimacy and his own legacy. The court, you know, has no private armies. It has no police force. The reason its rulings are obeyed is because people trust its integrity. It has credibility and independence. But the more it does to violate these ethical standards, the more it endangers that kind of credibility. Appearances are really important. So I believe if he fails to investigate, the Judiciary Committee should consider doing so and adopt a code of ethics.
Senator, you are joining us one day after the latest mass shooting in Louisville, Kentucky. This now the 146th mass shooting in America this year alone. You know, I think Americans have started to maybe lose faith, thinking that nothing is getting done in Washington, D.C., Republican or Democrat. What's your message to the people watching us right now that have maybe started to lose hope and accept that this issue of gun violence in America is just unsolvable?
It's hard, but it can be done. We did it, in effect, last year with the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, when we adopted better background checks, more crisis intervention through encouraging red flag statutes, which I've long advocated, and other measures such as closing the boyfriend loophole in gun trafficking and mental health. We provided billions more to achieve more mental health. We adopted some very constructive steps in that Safer Communities Act. We can do it again. I hope that we will adopt laws relating to safe storage like we have in Connecticut, Ethan's Law, maybe abolishing high-capacity magazines that enable a lot of the mass shootings. My goal ultimately is to abolish assault weapons as they're used in many of these deadly shootings, and the sweetheart deal that gun manufacturers have where they have complete immunity from lawsuit. A number of these measures, in my view, are doable. And the movement that we have built, based on Connecticut's success, we've shown in Connecticut that these gun laws work. What won't work is the failure to do any gun violence prevention, and the American people want us to act.
It'll be interesting to see if there's some movement on the Republican side of the aisle, having this going on in Kentucky with Senator Rand Paul and Mitch McConnell, but we'll have that and talk another time. Last point here. We know you just had surgery on your leg. You fell at the Yukon National Championship Parade in Hartford Saturday. How was the surgery and how's the leg?
Well, I was knocked over pretty stunningly in that parade. And I will tell you, among the nicest messages I received are from Coach Dan Hurley and Coach Gino Auriemma, thanking me for showing solidarity with the teams. I was knocked over. I finished the parade. I was in the reviewing stand, then went to the emergency room, had surgery on Easter Sunday, and I'm getting better and better. I'm at home now and doing a lot of PT so I can get back to Washington, D.C. at the end of the present recess and doing a lot of stuff by Zoom and phone while I'm here at home.
Blumenthal 2.0 after surgery. You might be on their starting five next season. Senator, we appreciate your time as always. Thanks for making it.
Thank you.